Sir.
I listened to you,
Sir, you're holding us up. Okay, welcome to our code enforcement meeting. Just a brief information so that you're aware. This is a quasi-judicial board of community volunteers. That is a way that we help the community is to go through this process. So we have a call to order. I guess is our next step here. Oh, okay, I already did that. All right, roll call.
Ms. Turner, Ms. Himes, Mr. Harrington,
Here.
Ms. Roby,
Here.
Ms. Calnan,
Here.
Ms. Marsh,
Here.
Ms. Kindig, and Mr. Gonzalez.
Present. Okay, has everybody reviewed the minutes?
Yes, sir.
And are there any questions or input in regards to the minutes? So we will entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
You want to make a motion to excuse the?
Oh, yes.
I'll make a motion to excuse the 240.
Right, yeah, because the chairperson can't make motions. A motion has been made and seconded to excuse Weegee, the chairperson, and Ms. Hyman. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion passes. Now we move to minutes.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as posted. Second.
A motion has been made to approve the minutes as presented, has been seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All against? I left that out. Okay. Has there been any ex parte communications with board members? No? Okay, great. Are there any announcements?
Yes, sir. Starting on page 2, lien review will be via Zoom. Case number 1, same page. CEB 01-25-15, 636 El Dorado Street is in compliance as of May 6, 2025. Same page, case number 2, CEB 03-25-53, 335 Division Street is in compliance as of May 8th, 2025. Page 4, case number 9 will be via Zoom. Page 6, case number 15 will also be via Zoom. Case number 16, also via Zoom. Page 7, case number 19, CEB 02-25-34, 534 Pine Street is in compliance as of May 5th, 2025. Page 8, new case, case number 24, CEB 05-25-106, 525 Bellevue Avenue has been administratively withdrawn. Page number 9, case number 28, CEB 05-25-103, 507 Arthur Street is in compliance as of May 7th, 2025. Page 10, case number 34, CEB 05-25-99, 120 Azalea Drive is in compliance as of May 7th, 2025. Page 11, case 35, CEB 05-25-110, 560 White Street is in compliance as of May 5th, 2025. Same page, case number 36, CEB 05-25-100, 419 Model Street is in compliance as of May 7th, 2025. Those are my announcements.
Thank you very much. Just a note to give you all some part of the orientation of our process. We will be hearing first a lien review that we have, and if there's any attorneys or police officers that are here and need the case to be heard, please let the secretary know, and then we'll do your case as soon as possible. The other information is, after we do those, we will do the not the lien reviews, the imposing of fines on different cases. Last, we will do cases that are in or out of compliance. And in those cases, there will be no fines. It's just finding whether you're in compliance or not in compliance. And I'll repeat that when we get to you. Okay, so our first case is the lien review, which is supposed to be on Zoom, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
The staff needs to be sworn in.
Oh, okay, please swear the staff in.
Will you all raise your right hand? Do you swear? I'm sorry. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, the lien review is via Zoom.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry. My name is Patrick Pinkney, and I should be represented also there by Errol Lucas, who is our contractor.
Hang on a second. Okay, so we're looking at case number CEB 10-24-161, 623 State Street.
Mark Jones, did you swear that? Oh, he's the attorney. Mark Jones, I'm with the City of Daytona Beach. My credentials are on file. The respondent was first notified back on July 18th, 2024. And this case came into compliance on March 19th, 2025. There were many issues on this case, with the owner located in a nursing home. An attorney that representing her was releasing funds as they went. They did bring the property into compliance. Staff is recommending that we reduce the lien down to $250 for administrative fees.
Okay, so is the attorney on the Zoom?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, do you want to say something besides what he just shared with us?
Your Honor, at this point, Mrs. Dickerson she inherited those properties, and she's on fixed income. And right now, as a matter of fact, she's on hospice. So we're trying to see if we can do palliative care with her. However, the problem that I'm having is she's down here. I wasn't even aware until last year that she even owned those properties up there, because she's had Alzheimer's now since 2017. And that's part of the problem, is once the Alzheimer's came in, no one was able to assist her in managing the properties and taking care of the properties, and she was not aware of them. She inherited them from her husband. And so I'm trying, with the limited income that I have, to pay for over $5,000 a month for the nursing home, us to pay for her medications and other prescriptions and insurance to make do and to try to pay the bills as I can. But
Okay.
I'm
so
not
you're-
just sitting
I'm
on a
sorry.
pile of money.
Excuse me, sir. So
sir.
you're her attorney, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So there was an order that was appointing plenary guardian of the person and property. In that order, there's an order.
I'm sorry?
There's an order appointing plenary guardian of person and property. The court order.
Plenary guardian of person property. Yes, sir.
Correct. So item number 3 says, speaks to $130,000.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, and the city is recommending,
I need to, perhaps you'll allow me to give you a little bit of background on that.
well,
She actually, she
hang on,
owned,
hang on a
oh,
second.
I'm sorry.
I got you. And the other board members can ask you questions too. The city's recommending to reduce the fine to $250.
Yes, sir.
Is that correct? Okay. All right, do any board members have any questions or input?
Let me point out that becomes a lien against the property. It's not immediately due and payable. It does accumulate interest, but it could run for years, as sometimes happens on these. So it's not an immediate out-of-pocket expense unless the individual, the respondent in this case, seeks to stop the interest clock from running and clear title to the property.
So that would mean that he would have to pay the fine?
Right.
Okay.
If they want to stop it, but otherwise it just runs, and
Right.
it someday, I mean, at $250, it's going to.
Right.
Yeah, typically we ask for the fine to be reduced to $250 to be paid in 30 days, or the fine reverts back to the total amount.
Oh, you want it to revert back?
That's how we
Okay.
typically do these.
Okay. All right, do you understand, sir, what we just discussed?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and so do you have any quick further input?
At this point, I really just, she's got 2 other properties up there. They're going to cause problems for me also. But at this point, I really need to try to make this go away because I would like to focus on her. So I will agree to the
Right.
$250 fine and I'll pay you for it.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So do I have a motion?
I make a motion
Second.
The
Okay,
accept the city.
motion should be that the fine is reduced to $250, payable within 30 days.
Yes.
Otherwise, it reverts back to
Correct.
the original
And
amount.
the board secretary will send that invoice out.
okay. So we understand the motion, right? Can somebody please repeat it?
I make a motion to accept the city's recommendation for the fine of $250.
Payable within 30 days, or it
Payable within
reverts
30
back to the
days.
original
Right.
amount.
Or it reverts back to the original amount.
Okay, motion has been made,
Second.
seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. So we'll be looking forward to your $250.
All right, thank you.
Okay, our next case, let's see. Case number 1 was completed. Case number 2 was completed. So we move to page 3. Case number 3, CEB 032564, Arnold Dwayne Hervey. Oh, wait a minute, time out. Are you the case with the attorney? You got an attorney?
I am.
Okay.
Your number.
Time out, I'm sorry. I'm gonna do the attorney first.
26?
26. Okay. So that would be KCEB 0525108, RZB Lucy at 424 Marion Street. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
424 Marion, I think.
Right. Marion Street, correct. And you're the representative, and Is the individual here?
He is, Mr. Lucy. Well, at least stand up so that you see.
Yeah. Well, have him come up so we know who it is. I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Do what? Yeah, but he's got an attorney.
Yes, I understand. She already did the speech about new cases. Of course, she's fine.
I already did that.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman,
Just so you're aware, this is a compliance case. It's either in compliance or non-compliance, and if it's brought into compliance, yeah, I think generally time is given for bringing it into non-compliance, to bring it into compliance. And if it isn't, then it's reset for a fine. So, just so you're aware of the process.
Right. And for those other folks that are here, we took it out of turn because they have an attorney and the attorney has other stuff to do. Yes, sir. Mr. Harrison, you have something?
he
Okay.
just covered what I was going to ask.
Okay.
This is-
Brendan needs to swear him in.
Okay, they gotta be sworn in.
Just his client,
Right.
the attorney needs to state his name and address for the record, and his client. If his client's going to give testimony, he needs to be sworn.
Okay. I'm Tanner Andrews, 112 West New York, number 203 in DeLand. And Mr. Lucy is here. He's the property owner. I can give you a card with all the info on it.
Mr. Lucy, would you like to tell her your name?
Is he gonna
So that-
speak?
Just so that you can.
No,
be sworn.
just
You
stay
can
where you
stand-
are, sir.
You can stand there.
Only if necessary, but I don't think we really have any factual dispute. We just have an interesting glitch as to why we're not in compliance.
So he's not gonna speak at all.
Okay, if he's not gonna speak, he doesn't have to be sworn in.
You can stay where you are, sir. No, sir. You don't have to come over here. You can stand by your attorney.
If you're not gonna testify, you can sit.
Here, let me give you a card though, just to, so that you.
All right, musical chairs.
Thank you.
All right, we're gonna hear from the inspector first, I believe.
Hey, good morning, Sarah Kirk, Inspector of the City. My credentials are on file. This is a complaint-generated case I received in August of 2024 regarding a house fire with the owner living inside. Property's in violation of a damaged roof, damaged exterior, broken windows, dilapidated shed, and debris. First notification was 9/27/24. Compliance due 10/27/24. I re-inspected the property on 4/25/25. It's still in non-compliance. Staff's recommending a finding of non-compliance with compliance due next cutoff.
Okay, what say ye?
Well, factually, I don't think there's any dispute. The reason we haven't been able to cure the compliance is that we haven't been able to get the permits. Once the city will issue the permits, Mr. Lucy here is amply able to do the work. He's done that sort of work on other properties which have passed inspection, but this is his own property. Still, we need a permit, I guess possibly separate permits for the windows and the roof, but the point is, until the city will issue a permit, we can't fix it.
Okay.
I have a question. Is there a reason why the city hasn't issued the permits? Usually there's no issues. They just, you go and fill out for the permit.
I think it's that there had been a fire there, and while I haven't seen any reports from them, that's, I guess, kicking around in the records.
Do you know why, Sarah?
The property is condemned.
Trying to figure out what your role is. Have you personally helped them provide for the permits?
I haven't.
What makes you involved other than collecting the fee?
Well, I've been asked to try to get this property permitted and fixed. And, I was told that there's a code enforcement problem. I looked yes, I saw that we needed to fix the property. I mean, you can see that from the pictures, and I've seen exactly the same thing you are seeing in the pictures. And so I've offered advice as to what we can do without a permit. He's been doing cleanup, but in order to go beyond that, I've explained we're going to need the permit. And so far, I haven't gotten a good paper trail as to whether there's going to be a permit, whether there's not going to be a permit. I'm more or less paper-based, and I'm not.
How is this supposed to take place magically if you don't go down and do it?
Mr. Lucy has gone down there to get the permit.
But if the property's condemned, I don't understand.
I don't understand your involvement.
Yeah.
Well, if the property were condemned, or properly condemned, there'd obviously be reports and a paper trail. And more to the point, we wouldn't be here talking about a code violation of we need to fix the windows and roof.
It's not saying it needs, it just says that it's damaged.
Can I say something?
Well, you gotta be sworn in first then.
The city is moving.
Sir, you have to be sworn in.
You have to be sworn in, sir.
Say that, ma'am.
Your name?
You have to be.
Oh, to be Lucy,
Do you swear or affirm?
424 Marion Street. The city is.
Wait.
She has to swear you
I have
in.
to swear you're in. Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Thank you.
The city is what holding me up. I can get the material, I start to fix the house, but because when the fire burnt, it didn't burn that much. It just scorched a little bit in them. And so there was another guy was over there, and he came out there and condemned the house. Because he said we're wrong, we went wrong. But he went for the county and city one, he just did that and caused a problem for me. And he told me, don't give me no permit and all of that. So, but I can fix the house. The house is fixable. And if the city get out the way and give me the permit in a few months, the house will be back up where it's at now. I mean,
So,
it don't
sir,
go.
sir, if I may, sir. So right now, we're gonna either find you in compliance or non-compliance. We're not gonna give you a fine.
I can't hear this here.
Oh, okay. I can't hear. We're not gonna give you a fine right now. What we're gonna do is find you in compliance or in non-compliance. Then you have a certain amount of time to fix the problem.
Fine.
No,
You're not getting
no,
a
he's
fine.
saying there will not be a fine today. Today, we are simply determining whether or not you have fixed the property. The pictures show it's not fixed, so that's predetermined. And then they're going to give us time to fix it, and ideally, they're also going to instruct the city that they need to allow you to fix it.
Okay, so now we come to the point.
I need to interject there. Since this is a condemned structure, I suspect there may be some reason for it being condemned. And typically that has to be, and it may not be something that can be fixed. I don't know.
Right, so this is just, just the protocol that we have. So even if it's condemned, we still do a code case just to handle both sides. Just in case the condemnation is released, then there's a code case to back it up saying, hey, you've got to fix this. So that's why there's a code case and a condemnation.
Okay, so
I've been involved in fires before, and sometimes the fires affect the integrity of the roof timbers, and that may require inspections and things of that nature. I'm just kind of speculating at this point, but those are things that have to be cleared up before you can get permits to do
But
the
I
work.
still live in the house because it ain't enough. It don't rain enough in order to keep me from living in that thing there. Then one this near thing was bolted up.
well, that could cause you another problem,
Right.
living in a condemned
It's not as
building.
bad as it looks
Okay.
when you go and look at it.
Right, in order to
So-
replace the roofing
Okay.
timbers, we'll need
Okay,
a
I'm
permit.
gonna, let's move on
I call for a
to the
vote.
city's recommendation. What's the city's recommendation?
Finding of non-compliance with compliance due by the next cutoff.
Okay, city has made a recommendation. What's the board's pleasure?
non-compliance,
Okay,
30 days.
next cutoff, like the city's recommendation? Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion has been made in the case of CEB 05-25-107, regarding Joseph F. Pouncey? No, wait a minute.
This is Mr. Lucy.
Mr. Lucy. CEB 05-25-108, Ozzie B. Lucy, at 424 Marion Street, to be found in non-compliance and to come into compliance by our next cutoff date, which is our next meeting.
What's that
No,
date?
that's,
6-4.
Well, it's
it's before the meeting.
6-4.
It's 6/4.
So you come back and see us again.
Oh, I have to make sure that.
But you gotta stay in contact with her and inform her of what's going on. You have to work with her.
Figure out how to remove the condemnation,
Right,
Right.
Mr. Gonzalez,
to direct him on where to go and.
yes,
you guys didn't do a vote yet?
Yeah, we have to.
You did
No,
the
no.
motion, but not the vote.
right. Okay, so a motion was made by Mr. Harrington. Ms. Roby seconded. Is there any
Could
further
I ask for
discussion with the board?
60?
Well, a motion has been made and seconded to move on the city's recommendation. When you come back, if there's any need and the city recommends it, then we will deal with it then. But right now, we have a motion on the floor and we need to move forward. So, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, so that's where we're at.
Mr. Tanner, if I may say that typically, if you come back again, what oftentimes this board is looking at is there been a good faith effort to try to remedy things and move forward on this. The discussion we're talking right now about a condemnation, and nobody on this board knows why it's condemned or if the condemnation can be released. And those are things, fundamental issues that need to be addressed, and I think would be addressed by the board at the next
At the
meeting.
next meeting, yeah. But that's why it's important for you all to communicate with the inspector and keep her updated.
Okay, well, I'll go ahead and card it for 9 o'clock on the 4th. The 4th of June is a Wednesday?
Yes, sir, the hearing's done on the 4th. That's a compliance date.
That's a compliance.
okay, okay.
Yeah. You'll get a notice from when the hearing is.
Do what?
June 12th.
Oh, okay, June 12th.
Yes.
All right, well, let me go ahead and card that.
You can request more time and stuff then.
Okay.
And did I'm trying to recall the motion, but did you include that there could be a fine imposed if there is not, if it is not in compliance by that date?
Probably not, so.
I didn't hear that.
Right.
Okay. Then you,
Okay,
I
so
think,
we need to redo the motion.
amend the motion.
Amend the motion.
The typical motion that you
Okay.
usually do that.
Someone want to amend the motion to include the attorney's observation here?
Yeah, I'll amend my motion to include a fine.
Okay, the motion has been amended to include that after the next meeting, if we're not in compliance, that a possible fine could
Of
be
up
levied.
to, what is the amount that you usually do here? 5,000.
1,000 a day.
Okay,
Up to 5,000.
Up to 1,000.
Okay.
a fine to be set of a possible 1,000 a day up to 5,000.
Well, up to 10.
Yeah, this would be 10,000.
Up to 10,000.
Up to 10,000.
Yes, fine of up to 10,000.
Okay. Ms. Roby, can you help us with that?
Yeah, I second it with, to secure the property city standards, and further allow until 6/4 to come into compliance or failing of any of that be returned to the board of consideration up to $1,000 per day or until a compliance is achieved,
To a maximum of
to a
10,000.
maximum of 10,000.
And that motion was seconded by Mr.
No, I
Harrington?
second it,
Oh,
Mr.
okay. All right, you
Okay.
just clarified the motion. Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Okay, motion carries. So you could have a fine at the next meeting.
Yeah, but that would be imposed at the next meeting. It's not being imposed
Depending
here.
on your progress
Right,
on it.
and ideally, yeah.
This
I
is
guess-
carrot and stick. If you make good progress, then the
Right.
board may give you more time to try to things
Right.
resolved. They
Okay.
want to see it moving forward.
And ideally, we should be able to quickly get whatever reports there are backing the condemnation and figure out if it's fixable.
And to clarify the city's position, our goal is compliance, not fining you.
Yes,
So,
and not my first rodeo.
Yeah, and just to clarify, the condemnation is in the IMS system, was put in by the inspector who condemned the property. So all the information is in there with photos.
Okay, I should be able to get them to email that to me this afternoon, maybe.
Okay, thank you very
Okay.
much.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Okay, our next case
Could be disbarred.
is,
Case number 3.
Number 3.
number 3. Okay, CEB 032564 Arnold Dwayne Hervey at 624 School Street. Are you both going to speak?
Yes.
She needs to swear you in.
Can you both raise your right hand? Can you say your names, please, and who you are, your address?
Arnold Dwayne Hervey.
I'm Jody Medell.
Jody Mattel.
Okay, we'll hear from our inspector
Wait, not
first.
yet.
Oh,
Okay, now will you raise your hand? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, this is a returning case. First notification was 7/25/24. Since the last hearing, I have had contact, and there's been a little bit of progress. Staff's recommending to amend to the next cutoff for compliance.
and what would you like to say?
As in amend, what do you mean, go for the next
Continue,
one?
we're gonna give you more time.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what we were hoping for, because
Right.
we're seeing that the permits were finally, there's another step to it, so finally,
Right,
we're seeing progress
Right.
in that, so.
so that's what she's
Okay,
recommending.
perfect, thank you. How long
Okay.
of a continuance would be?
I would say next cutoff,
Towards our next meeting.
So 30 days? Sorry, when I speak
It's
to the
about that,
contractor
yeah,
right
it's
now?
about 30 days.
Question here.
Yes, sir.
These people are not moving at light speed here. And
Who's these people?
the prior people who committed the offense.
Oh, okay.
And we stopped by the permit place and was told that there is an amendment on their end of the thing. They have to amend their permit first. So, I mean, is 30 days reasonable?
We're waiting for corrections on the actual permit from the contractor, which we just found out. Is there any way we could get a 60-day continuance?
I'd be agreeable with that.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, the city has made a recommendation. What say ye, board?
I'll make a motion to amend case number CEB 0325-64 to allow to the cutoff as 7/2 to come into compliance or be returned to the board at a subsequent meeting for consideration of a fine up to $1,000 per day until compliance is achieved to a maximum of 10,000.
Is there a second?
Second.
A motion has been made and seconded to accept the city's recommendation All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
So, thank you, sir, for your service.
Thank
You
you.
beat me to it. I was gonna say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next case, CEB 04-25-92. Christy Gayton, Labori, and Howard. Labori Howard.
1,000 a day. That's what we stopped. Yeah.
What is the case now?
I'm sorry.
You're at the other.
This is the microphone.
Hello.
Hello. Okay, you will need to swear her in.
Will you state your name and address to the record, ma'am?
Christy Howard, 216 Blanche Place, Daytona 32114.
Okay, will you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll hear from our inspector.
Good morning, Inspector
morning.
LaWanda Domingo, City of Daytona Beach Code Compliance. My credentials are on record. Since the last hearing, I have received contact from Ms. Howard and have completed 2 re-inspections. There has been significant progress to the correction of the violation, so I'm recommending amending to the next cutoff for this case.
Okay, would you like to share something with us?
Can you specifically write what I don't have?
We spoke about it yesterday, but I'll call you later and we'll go over it again. Just essentially, you need to finish removing the outside storage, and then there's that wall that has the dirt grime.
Yeah, my son pressure cleaned it yesterday afternoon. What
She'll go into detail with you
the
afterwards.
outside? Where in the outside?
I'm gonna call you and we'll speak in detail about it. But there's been you can look at your pictures and you can see that's yesterday. How much more clean it's showing the painting that you've done, the removal of the trash and debris that's outside.
And are you talking about behind my son's work trailer or?
That trailer we spoke about, and then there's the wall that's facing that lot where that truck is parked that needs
Okay,
to be pressurized.
time out. So there is some progress.
There's significant progress.
Okay, wonderful. So I think the board is probably ready to vote on it.
Yes, sir.
Okay, do we have a motion?
Motion to grant 30 days.
To accept the city's recommendations?
Yes.
Okay,
Or face a fine.
okay. Is,
I think it would be a little better if you use the language that Ms. Roby had used, so that it's the respondent.
I'll make the motion.
And if I could, Ms. Roby, before you, the amount of the fine could vary. It's $1,000 a day, but the maximum amount could depend on whether it's homesteaded or not, so we leave that off.
Okay. So for case number CEB 04-25-92, at 216 Blanche Place, to come into compliance by 6/4, or be returned to the board for a subsequent meeting for consideration up to a fine up to $1,000 per day until compliance is achieved.
Perfect.
I intend to fully be
Okay.
in compliance
Please,
before then,
we're in
but
the middle.
$1,000 a day, I don't make, but
of a
2,000 a
motion
month.
and a vote,
Are
ma'am.
you trying to take my house?
It's just,
Yeah.
no, it's just a
I'm a
motion.
Yeah,
recent
it's
widow,
just a
and
motion.
then
$1
Social
a day fine.
Security
There's
and
no
a
fine
small
today.
Yeah.
401.
There's no fine today.
It sounds big, but it
Ma'am.
all depends when you come back where you're at.
No,
Okay?
I don't intend for that to happen, but just the
Okay.
thought that could happen to
Ma'am,
a person
Ma'am,
in my
we need to
situation
continue
is
our
heartbreaking.
meeting.
If you want my house, just tell me you want my
no,
house.
we don't want your house.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Howard, if I may, there are a lot of people who come and stand in your position who promise the world and don't deliver. And that's sort of the reason that is added on. If you seem to have a very good rapport with your inspector and things are moving forward, So most likely, you will probably never be subject to any fine. But there's always that possibility that arises that someone comes up and says, I'll do it, and then they walk away and don't do anything.
And we know you're
No,
trying.
So I also would like to add, I didn't mean to
Yeah.
interrupt, sorry. So it's also a standard procedure. If we do it for you, for one person, and we don't do it for you, we could be seen as giving people different treatment. So legally, it's a standard process they do to everyone. You could be the best one that she has and everything, but we still have to do it legally. It doesn't mean anything against, it's just a standard practice.
It doesn't mean that it's
Yeah,
gonna happen.
And
You
that's
just
fine,
keep
I
doing what you're
understand
doing.
it. It
Keep
may not
doing-
affect
keep
me.
doing what you're doing.
But if that policy
There's a
could affect
motion on
other
the floor.
people
Okay.
like me,
Vote,
I have just
please.
as much.
Yes, there's a motion on the floor, so please slow down. A motion has been seconded to accept the city's recommendation. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those not in favor? Okay, so motion has been made. And so continue what you're doing. She says you're improving. Keep improving. Then if you gotta come back, then we'll deal with it when you come back. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right.
I made the motion, Neil seconded.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
I had him. Okay.
Okay, next case. Number 5. CEB 042575, Amy L. Haynes at 148 South Gold Drive. Okay, so you're gonna swear her in before
Yes,
the
sir. Will you state your name for the record and address?
Amy Haynes, 148 Gold Drive South, Daytona Beach, Florida.
Okay. And do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you so much.
And we'll hear from the inspector.
Good morning, Officer
Good morning.
Clegg. My credentials are on file. Pertaining to 148 South Gull, it was first notified on December 17th of 2024. Since the last hearing, I had one contact with her with a phone call that the screens were done in the back of the house. Property is occupied, so we had a little bit of progress, but dirt and grime, as you can see in the picture right there, and faded paint has not been done. City's recommending a fine of $100 a day, capped to $10,000.
Yes, ma'am.
I actually called him 3 times yesterday, and I left a voicemail at 12:57 explaining that that had all been corrected, and then I called again at 3:37, and I did not receive a call back. So it is in compliance. I have pictures on my phone that all that has been corrected.
Would you like to enter those into evidence, or?
I don't know.
You can email them to the inspector.
I don't have his email address.
Okay. Okay, so let's see what the board thinks in this case.
I'll make a motion that in case number of CEB 042575, that we amend to the next cutoff to allow Mr. Clegg time to go out and verify that it's been done. And if it hasn't come into compliance, then return to the board for a subsequent meeting, consideration up to a fine to $1,000 per day until compliance is achieved.
And do we have a second? We have a second? Okay. Okay, so the motion made is to hear your case in our next meeting, okay? And give you time to get with the inspector and clear that up. And if not, then there'll be a fine levied on you. Okay?
You have to vote on the motion.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna do that now. Okay, so all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, any opposed?
No.
Nay.
2 opposed. And we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 3 yeses and 2 nos. Is that right?
And who were the no's? Mr. Harrington and Mrs.
Mr. Harrington,
Marsh.
and yes. And the rest of us voted for. So we got 3 to 2.
Got it. Thank you.
So if it fails, then I guess, right?
Yeah.
No, it didn't fail. It's 3 yes and 2 no's. 1, 2, 3.
We need 4 to pass, don't we?
I don't know. Isn't it a majority? It's a majority, isn't it?
It's a majority, but there's an allowance for when there's what, we're missing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
That's 5.
6, 7. It's a 7-member board.
Right.
And you have, I think it's when
But
you're
they're
down.
not here.
Yeah, so it passes.
Okay.
Right, that's what I thought. Okay, do you understand it after all that? Okay. All right, thank you very much. Next case. CEB 0325-72, Anthony McLean at 528 Shady Place. Is Mr. McLean here? Not here. Yes, sir.
Pertaining to 528 Shady, first notified December 12th of 2024. Since the last hearing, I had contact with the gentleman. The property's not occupied, and he started to do the fence, but he's got an acre lot with numerous junk vehicles on it, trailers, boats. So the city's recommending a fine of $100 a day, capped at $15,000.
Okay, what says the board? Any discussion? No discussion? Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Go ahead.
In the case of CEB 032572, 528 Shady Place, to fine $100 per day with a cap of, was it 10,000?
15.
15,000? To come in, which one is it? Until compliance is achieved.
You should probably state that the property is still in non-compliance.
And the property is still in non-compliance.
Okay, second?
A second.
Okay, motion has been made and seconded to accept the city's recommendations. $100 a day, capped at 15,000. This will be immediate? This will be immediate, correct?
Usually starts on the day that
Right.
action's taken.
Okay, so motion has been made, voted on. We did the vote. Yeah. Voted on, and so motion carries. Next case.
Did we have a vote?
No, not yet.
Oh, we didn't have to vote?
No.
I thought we had to vote. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
And it passes
it passes.
5-0,
Right.
unanimous.
Okay, next case. Case number 7, CEB 032571, Robin Dale, King Mob, at 133 Maillard Lanes. Is anybody present for that case? No.
The respondent was properly notified.
Okay, you said they were properly notified?
Yes, they were properly
Okay, thank you.
Uh,
Yes, sir.
Pertaining to 133 Mallard, first notified January 21st of 2025. And since the last hearing, I had contact with the owners. The property is occupied. They have a contractor that started the work yesterday. They just got a little hold up because the HOA was late on approval. So the city's recommending to be in compliance by next cutoff.
Okay, what does the board say?
Make a motion to, on case number CEB 0325-71, 133 Mallard Lane, until 6/4 to come into compliance or be returned to the board at a subsequent meeting for consideration of a fine up to $1,000 per day until compliance is achieved.
Is there a second?
Second?
Was the maximum included?
Sorry?
No,
Okay.
no maximum.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next case. Number 8, CEB 042577. ASP Readycam LLC at 156 Michigan Avenue. Is anybody present for this case?
The respondent has been properly notified.
Okay. Not present. Yes, sir.
Inspector Ron Binney, my code credentials are on file with the city. The respondent was first notified on October 23rd, 2024. Since the last hearing, I have had contact with the owner. There has been some progress to the property. Staff is recommending a fine of $100 a day at a cap of $15,000.
Okay, is there a motion to that effect or a different one?
I'll make a motion. Case number CEB 0425-77, to take the city's recommendation for the motion to impose a fine of up to $100 or $400 a day beginning today, May 8th.
Up to 10,000, I think?
15,000.
15,000.
Until compliance is achieved, or be in consideration up to 15,000.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, motion has been made and properly second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, next case. Number 9, CEB 042587, Maria Kudos Estate at 574 Essex Road. Is anybody present for that case? Or that's a Zoom? Zoom, oh, there we go.
It's in Chile.
Okay, who's on the Zoom? Hello, Zoom.
Ah,
Oh,
Hello?
There we
okay,
go.
You hear
there
me?
you go. Yes.
Yes, I'm responding. I'm the one lives in that house right now.
Wait,
But I'm out of the country right now.
Wait,
I'm
wait,
in South
wait.
America.
Hello.
State your
wait.
name.
You gotta be sworn in.
State your name and address for the record, please.
Okay.
Your name, sir?
My name is Juan Quiroz. Quiroz.
And your address?
574 Essex Road, Daytona Beach, Florida, 32114.
Will you raise your right hand?
Yes.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna hear from the inspector first, and then we'll hear from you.
Okay.
Good morning, Inspector Garcia, credentials on file with the city. This respondent was first notified of all the violations on January 22nd, 2015. Since the last hearing, I have contact with Juan Quiles once. The property is not occupied. Progress has not been made, and staff's recommending a fine of $100 a day, capped at $10,000.
Okay. Okay, sir, your turn. What would you like to say?
Okay, I got a person that's cleaning out the yard and trying to do as the best she can with the property. As you see, she put all those shrubs out because they were on the way. And the reason that it wasn't done is because I'm not there. I'm out of the country. I'm in South America right now. I'm in Chile. I came here to sell a property, and I'm on that process. And she's trying to comply as much as she can. And as soon as I go back there, I'm going to take care of everything because I'm going to have the funds to do it right away. So the only thing I'm asking for is just a little time because I know I got to do it. I got to fix it because I'm not leaving that house myself. It's not that it's not occupied. I'm leaving there.
What do you call
That's
a
my
little
house.
time? What do you call a little time? 30
Maybe,
days, 60
I'm trying
days?
I think 60 days should be good because I'm trying to sell this property here. Once I get the funds, I'm moving down. I'm going down there and fix the house right away.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll see what the board has to say.
Okay.
What was the city's recommendation again?
The fine of $100 a day, capped at $10,000. Reason being, we heard the same thing last time. The only thing that's been done is a neighbor from across the street has trimmed out some overgrowth in the back along the fence line. But as for the fascia in the front, and the back, it has not been touched at all. There's also been a little dirt and grime on the north side that has been done. And actually, since she's taken some of the overgrowth out, you can even see more damage and more dirt and grime.
Okay, let the record show that Mr. Harrington stepped out. Okay, board, what say ye?
I make a motion that we accept the city's recommendation of, in the case of CEB 042587 Essex Road. Motion to oppose fine of, was it $100 per day?
Correct.
With a max of
10,000.
10,000
per day beginning today's date.
Okay.
Until compliance is achieved.
Okay, second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, sir, did you understand what just happened?
Yeah, that you will fine me if I don't comply, $100 a day,
Right.
up to $10,000.
Right, and the fine starts today.
And what about the time that I need to fix it? Would you give me the 60 days?
No, they voted against that. That's why you got
So
a
what
fine. You got a fine. They would have put in the motion the 60 days, they didn't, so you have a fine.
I think
Sir, a fine will be assessed against the property, and I've seen in the past, you can always request a lien review at the end where that fine could be reduced, and perhaps based upon how quickly you get the property into compliance. That is your option now.
Yeah, like I said, if you will give me the 60 days, I'll have more than enough time to do what I gotta do.
So, sir, we can't give you legal advice, but as he just said, they've already voted. So you are being fined. What you could do is get into compliance as soon as possible, talk to your inspector, and once it's in compliance, you can appeal that through the lien review process. You can't appeal the fine through the lien review until you are in compliance. That fine is not something you need to pay now. It's something that runs with the land as a lien on your property.
Yes, I understand.
Okay, good. I'm glad you understand. Thank you very much for making an appearance, and we need to move to our next case.
Okay.
All right, thank you so much.
Okay.
And let the
Have a
record
good day.
reflect
Thank you.
that there was a 4-0 vote on that motion.
Okay, next case. Number 10, CEB 032574, Charles H. Wright and Belinda Wright. Are they present? Not present. Okay. Yes, sir.
The respondent was first notified of all the violations on January 10, 2025, and since the last hearing, I've had contact with the owner. He's been in and out of the hospital. The property is occupied. There has been progress made. It's just been at a halt. The only thing he has to do left is paint and put the numbers on the building and also take the trailer and move it back behind the building line. Once he does that, he'll be in compliance. So staff's recommending to amend to the next cutoff.
Okay. All right, board, what say ye?
I'll make the motion in case CEB 0325-74 at 550 Essex Street to come into compliance or be returned to the board at a subsequent meeting for consideration up to a fine up to $1,000 per day until compliance is achieved, but we're amending till 6/4.
There a second? Second. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay. Next case, number 11. CEB 0425-79, Gary E. Holt at 524 Butler Boulevard.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Will you state your name and address for the record, sir?
I'm sorry?
Will you state your name and address?
Gary Holk, 250 University Boulevard, Daytona Beach, Florida, 32118.
Thank you. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning,
Okay, good
Inspector
morning.
Mariah Quinn with the City of Daytona Beach. My credentials are on file. This case was a field generated and opened on December 12th, 2024. Since the last hearing, I have had contact with the property owner. The property is still occupied, and there has been progress. Staff recommends amending to the next cutoff to give the owner time to complete a possible demo.
Okay, so this case has been before us the last time.
Yes.
And do we have all the pictures? Yeah. Okay. Are these current pictures or are these old pictures?
They're a mix of both.
That's the way it looks. Yep.
It's basically unchanged since the original photos.
Oh, okay. All right, so what does the board want to do?
Have you actively looked for somebody to demolish it?
Yes,
Okay.
I have. But
Okay.
the difficulty I have is the house is blocked. The addition, if I demolish it, the addition, which will be done, then do I want to demolish the whole house or do I want to demolish just the addition? I still have to look at that. I just completed coming into compliance with another property I had before this board. And I started yesterday to get in there and see, that was my wife's daughter that lived in that, and retrieve the belongings she wants before we start demoing the addition. And that will start, we'll work on it today, so.
Okay, so you think you'll have your decision made by?
Well, I think it won't be there by the next meeting.
Okay.
I think there will be no structure where you see it now in terms of the addition.
Okay. I'll make a motion to take the city's recommendation on case 0425-79 at 524 Butler Boulevard to amend till 6/4 to come into compliance or be returned to the board at a subsequent meeting for consideration up to a fine of $1,000 per day until compliance is achieved.
Second.
Okay, motion has been made, duly seconded. All those in favor, or is there any discussion? No, okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion passes.
Thank you.
Did you understand it?
Yes,
Not
sir.
voting.
Okay.
Not voting.
He didn't vote.
I didn't vote because I wasn't here. So I just told her that.
Oh, okay. All right.
Are we good?
Okay,
Yeah.
we're done.
Okay, thank you
Next
all.
case.
See you next month.
Okay, case number 12, CBO 425-80, Blondell M. Ezel at 647 Clark Street. Hello.
Hello.
Sworn
Will you
in?
state your name and address for the record?
Blondell Ezel, 647 Clark Street.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
And we'll hear from the inspector.
This respondent was first notified on July 25th, 2024. I have had contact with the property owner. The property is occupied. There has been no progress, and staff fine of $100 a day with a max of $10,000.
Do you live there, Mrs. Ezel?
No, ma'am, I don't.
No? Okay, so it'd be up to 15,000 then for the,
It still shows as homesteaded with the property appraiser's office.
Okay, what say you, ma'am?
I didn't know the city was trying to get a hold of me. I guess my grandson lives there, was not making me aware of my mail, not giving me my mail. He was giving me some, but not that. I guess he called himself shielding me. But anyway, I just need time. I'm in the process of applying for financial help to get a roof on my house, and I'm just needing time
And through what
But I know
process,
it's been a while, so
through what process are you trying to get help from, for the
I'm
roof?
applying for a loan.
Oh, okay, a personal loan?
Yes, sir.
Not a city?
And I'm applying for whatever I can get. If it's a loan through a roofing company or a personal loan to get my house, to get my roof on.
Okay. And how much time? I'm sorry.
Ma'am?
Have you already applied?
Yes. Yes, I have applied, just with one company I have.
And how much time do you think you need to correct this?
If I could have 60 days, I guess I'm trying to find out how soon I can get a reply from someone that I'm approved and I can get my roof on and how soon they can get it on.
Okay, so what's the board's pleasure?
I'd be willing to do a 30-day, but not 60 days, because it's been almost, July will be a year. So,
What's the city's recommendation again?
$100
So we were, staff was recommending a fine at this time.
Okay.
$100 a day is up to $10,000, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so I can't make a motion.
I feel for it, because even though you need to change with your property appraiser, get your mail for the at least the house to come to you and not rely on your grandson. But I'll make a motion to on case 0425-80 647 Clark to allow till the next cutoff to come into compliance, and keep in touch with Ms. Quinn, or be returned to the board for a subsequent meeting for consideration of a fine up to $1,000 a day until compliance is achieved.
Okay, is there a second?
Second?
Okay, motion has been made, seconded. Did you understand what she said?
Yes.
Okay. So, to the vote.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I'm waiting for. Okay,
All in
so
favor?
the vote,
I think it might be better to just do a roll call. Start with Ms. Marsh and go down, or Ms. Roby.
okay. All right, let's do a roll call.
Yes.
Ms. Roby,
Yes.
Mr. Harrington,
Yes.
Mr. Gonzalez,
Yes.
Mrs. Callahan,
Yes.
Okay. So you have till our next meeting to get it together and, stay in contact with her. It's very important that you keep her updated. And if not, then we'll start a fine.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, next case, number 14, CEB 013?
13.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I wrote over it. Okay. Case number 13, CEB 0425-81, Joseph Berg and Mandy Basie, at 215 Bellevue Avenue. Is anybody present?
The respondents have been properly notified.
Okay. They're not here, not present, okay.
Okay. The respondent was first notified on December 12th, 2024. The property is occupied. There has been no progress, and staff recommends a fine of $100 per day with a max of $15,000.
Okay.
What is wrong with the roof?
They put a new roof on with no permits.
Okay.
Okay, they've been notified, so what say ye?
Make a motion to impose a fine of $100 per day for city's recommendation on case CEB 0425-81 at 215 Bellevue Avenue, beginning today, May 8th, until compliance is achieved. $100 a day to $15,000 until compliance is achieved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion has been made, properly second. So we need to vote on it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Against? Okay, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, now we go to case 14. CEB 02-25-44, Hurston Fellowship and Foundation, Inc. at 900 North Oleander Avenue. Okay. Please be sworn in.
Please state your name and address to the record.
John Lowe, 144 Fifth Street, Maui.
And then determine.
James Gillespie, 1204 Madison Ave.
Okay, now will you both raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
And we'll hear from the inspector.
Good morning, John Simpson,
Good
Code
morning.
Inspector with the city. My qualifications on file. This respondent was first notified on 24 June 2024. They were cited for dilapidated driveway, the detached garage, exterior walls, broken windows on the front door, damaged roof on detached garage. The driveway has not yet been completed. Was out on property yesterday. They were just in the process of removing the old concrete. The detached garage permit has been final. Exterior wall staining has been removed. The broken window has been repaired. The city's recommendation is the imposition of a fine of $100 per day to be capped at $10,000. I'm sorry, to be capped at $20,000.
20,000. Okay, gentlemen.
Well, we have an inspection today on the driveway. You know, it's going. It's
Okay.
halfway there.
The driveway's been, going to be completed, they said by Friday. They'll be pouring the cement either later today or tomorrow. The roof's been done. The incidental cleanup. We've been working on the house. We continually work on it. We were working on it when these violations came in. That came in from a disgruntled employee that we had that made all of the complaints. We were already in the process of working on it. This is the old Simon J. Peabody house. We've had it for 20-some years. We've kept it up. We've had 2 roofs put on it due to hurricane. We've had the shutters replaced multiple times, which we have those now to go on it to finish it up. And some of the soffit that gets blown off during the hurricane. But we've been working on it all along. I mean, we've never let it.
And how long do you think it's going to take you to?
Within the next cycle of the board, if we could, we would be completed by then. We'd have all of, I believe, the violations and other things that we already are doing anyway.
Inspector, does it seem possible that they could do it in 30 days?
The only thing I can say is that this case has been active since July 23rd, 2024.
Okay.
And it remains in non-compliance.
Right.
And if I may, the drag on a lot of stuff, that's a historical house. So like to have the roof done, they don't make the roof colors that they require to have any longer. So the roofer had to go, it took over a month and a half just to get the shingles for the roof, for the garage. So we go through that thing with the historical board as well.
Right.
To get, and it has been dragged out. We had the hurricane. We just got over the COVID thing, trying to get out of that. We had the hurricane.
Okay, excuse me, one of the board members has a question.
I'll make a motion to amend to the next cutoff for the case 02-2544 at 900 North Oleander, since it is a historic house. And but is it occupied?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. To allow to
It's a-
64.
You say it's occupied, is it a rental?
No, it's part of Hearthstone is a alcohol and substance abuse treatment facility. It's the oldest in Daytona, other than,
So it's technically a business.
and then, yes, it is.
And the house you say is historic, does it have a plaque?
We don't have a plaque on the house, but they have it registered as a historic.
Well, yeah, you can register, but it's not historic till you have the plaque.
Should we even have it since it's a business? I mean, I don't even know if it should be going before the magistrate instead of us if it's a business, right? No?
Well, it's been with you since July of last year.
Yeah.
I don't see that there's anything that would prevent this board from continuing to
Okay.
exercise its control over this
The,
issue.
the way that the city like distributes between magistrate and you is kind of, I wouldn't say, a case that was heard before the magistrate could have theoretically
Can't
been
hear
heard-
you through that
been heard
mask.
before you. It's just something.
We can't hear you. We can't
Oh,
hear you.
sorry. Theoretically, a case that has been heard before the magistrate could have been heard before you. It's just the way the city separates them. I don't know how it gets separated, but I do know that you have the authority to hear this case.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
you own this,
Well, it's a 501c3 corporation
do you collect
entity.
a fee or a service or a salary for running this organization?
No, I don't.
So it's a
I've been with Hearthstone for 30 years.
it's a non-profit.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'll make a motion to find the CEB 02-25-44 in non-compliance and allow to be amended to the 6-4 meeting to come into compliance or to be considered for a fine up to $1,000 per day until compliance is achieved.
There a second?
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nay.
Nay, 1 nay, and 4 yes. Okay, motion passes. So you understand where we're at?
Because I understand that you're giving us to the next board meeting to have it in compliance with
Correct.
Mr. Stinson's.
Correct. Yeah. Okay. Next case.
Thank you very much, appreciate it.
Okay, next case is a Zoom case. CEB 0124-19, Nicole McLaren. No, Erlin.
Mackerlin, good
Oh,
morning.
Mackerlin, okay. And Michael Pagano. Okay, we need to swear you in, ma'am.
Will you state your name and address for the record?
Nicole Mackerlin, 992 Broadway, Norwood, New Jersey, 07648.
Will you raise your right? Oh, you got your hand raised. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
And we'll hear from our inspector first.
Good morning.
Good morning. Once again.
I think I'll just go ahead and let those pictures roll, and then I'll make comments.
Okay. Okay.
If I remember, I thought we were waiting on a final.
Oh, these are before and after pictures.
What?
Is this across from the convention center?
Yeah.
It is.
Yes, sir.
Alrighty.
beautiful.
That being said, I would like to state that this property is now in compliance.
All right.
Looks nice.
Yes, very nice. I like that porch. Okay, so you heard our reaction to it.
I'm very happy, and I thank you all so much for your patience and consideration. This has been quite the experience and adventure with insurance companies and contractors, but I'm happy to be in compliance and that you know, it looks much
And
better.
thank the inspector, because he's the one that puts you in
Yes,
compliance.
Inspector Stenson has been wonderful. He's been very helpful every step of the way. He's
Good.
done a fantastic job with being available and guiding, and I appreciate all of his hard work. And again, the board for just being patient with me, because this has been a real process, but I'm happy with the way the exterior has turned out.
Okay, thank you very much. So, we don't need to make a motion on this, right? Okay. All right, so you're in compliance.
Thank you all. Have a great day.
You too,
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Okay, case number 16, CEB 0325-60, Janice Hoover Estate at 365 Woodland Avenue. Anybody
Zoom.
here? Oh, Zoom. Okay, yeah, it's a Zoom. All right.
A representative or participant has not joined.
Okay.
Have they been on at all?
No, sir.
Do you have any way to click them or something? Let them know that.
They were resent the link about like an hour ago as a friendly
Oh.
reminder.
Okay. All right. So we got to move on, I guess. Next case.
No, we got.
Oh, I'm sorry. I guess that compliance got to me.
Oh, there you go.
Yes, sir.
Okay, John Stinson, code inspector with the city, qualifications on file. This respondent was first notified on 9 January 2025. I have been in contact. I don't know if you all recall the case. The actual owner is deceased. The daughter has taken over the property. Since she's taken over the property, there have been permits applied for. They are waiting to be issued, and the city would like to amend this case to the July.
July, you said?
Yes.
7-2.
All right. Can we hear a motion to that effect?
I make the motion to take the city's recommendation and amend case number CEB 0325-60 at 365 Woodland Avenue until 7/2 to come into compliance or be returned to the board at subsequent meeting for consideration of a fine up to $1,000 per day to $10,000 till
Just 1,000 a day is fine.
1,000
Up
a
to
day.
the-
Just leave it like that. $1,000 a day until compliance is achieved.
All right.
Second.
Okay, motion has been made and seconded, properly seconded, is, take it to the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Oppose? Okay, now the next case. Case number 17, CEB 03-25-58, Kenneth E. Klink and Deborah A. Klink at 740 Derbyshire Road. Anybody present for that case? No? Okay, so we'll hear from the inspector.
Inspector Itani, Code Compliance. Credentials are on file. Respondent was first notified November 1st, 2024. Since the March hearing, I have had contact with the owner, and they have resubmitted their paperwork, and the permit is waiting for inspection. I'm sorry, review. It's under review. The new permit's under review.
Okay.
Last inspection was May 5th, 2025, and the result was non-compliance. Staff recommends we amend to the next cutoff to allow time for the permit to be reviewed.
Okay. Okay, board, what say ye?
I'll make the motion on case number CEB 0325-58 at 740 Derbyshire Road to come into compliance by 6/4 or be returned to the board at a subsequent meeting for consideration of fine up to $1,000 per day until compliance is achieved.
Is there a second?
Second.
A motion made, properly second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Oppose? Motion carries. Okay, next case, number 18. CEB 01-25-21, Willie Mae McCoy Estate at 332 Dealey Street.
Oh, God.
And will you be sworn in, please?
Will you state your name and address for the record, please?
Maria Armas, the property is 332 Dealey Street, Daytona Beach.
Will you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
And we'll hear from the inspector.
Respondent was first notified on October 14th, 2024. Since the April hearing, I have had contact with the owner, and there is an approved permit for one of the roofs on the main house, and the second permit was applied for yesterday for the garage. Last inspection was May 5th, 2025, and the result was non-compliance. Staff recommends we amend to the next cutoff.
Yes, ma'am.
As you said, there's a completely new roof on the whole house. They passed the first inspection. The shingles are actually just delivered this morning, so they'll be finishing that today or tomorrow. So that should be finalized, and then they got a permit for the other structure, and he'll be starting that soon. He thought it was just repairs, that he didn't need a permit. So the other day she told me we need a permit, so they applied for the permit, and they'll be taking care of that. And then when the roof is complete, they'll paint the entire property as soon as all the structure is done. But they've got the roof completely finished on the whole house.
Okay. It's good progress. Okay, what does the board say?
What was your,
Next cutoff.
okay. I'll make the motion to, take the city's recommendation on CEB 01-25-21 at 332 Dealey Street to allow them till 6/4 to come into compliance and be returned to the board at subsequent meeting for consideration of a fine up to $1,000 per day until compliance is achieved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, motion properly made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. You understand what's...
Yes, thank
Okay.
you.
All right. Next case, number 19. CEB 02...
19's in compliance.
Oh.
Am I correct on that?
You're right. Okay, case number 20. CEB 04-25-82 Felix Mata at 124 Azalea Drive. Anybody present for that case? No.
Special case.
Okay. Okay. Ms. Inspector?
Respondent was first notified on September 26, 2024. Since the April hearing, I have had contact with the owner, and he is working toward compliance. He's moved a lot of the outside storage, he's painted the house, and he's maintained the landscaping. Last inspection was May 5th, 2025, and the result was non-compliance. Staff recommends we amend to the next cutoff.
Is there a reason why he said he took so long to get in touch with you?
I'm sorry?
You said it was first notified 9/26 and he just got in touch with you in the April meeting.
Right.
So
He didn't
say?
No. I mean, I've been talking to him regularly now.
Okay, board, what's your pleasure?
I'll make a motion to take city's recommendation to amend to 6/4 on case CEB 04-25-82, 124 Azalea Avenue, to come into compliance or be returned at a subsequent meeting for consideration of fine up to $1,000 per day until compliance is achieved.
Okay, motion made. And a second?
Second.
Second down here? Okay, second down here, to the right. Motion has been made, properly seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, next case. 21, CEB. What happened? Oh, okay. CEB 01-25-11.
Them first.
Tam Uying Vu Nguyen, 133 Eagle Harbor Way. Anybody present? Yes. Okay, great. You have to be sworn in.
Can you state your name and address for the record?
My name is Tam Nguyen, and my address 133 Eagle Harbor Way, Daytona Beach, 32124.
Okay, so you want to speak your name, sir?
Yes, Tuan Vo.
Can you say it again for me?
Tuan Vo.
You both raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll hear from the inspector first.
Good morning. Inspector Roosevelt Butler, credentials on file with the City of Daytona Beach. As it pertains to 133 Eagle Harbor Way, respondent was first notified on September the 26th, 2024. Since last month court proceedings, I've had contact with the owner, whom is awaiting permits to be issued from the city. Staff requests amend to the next cutoff.
Yes.
Yes, as I talked to the city permit, and I talked to the paver, and I did pay for the new engineer to do another letter for $2,000.
Okay.
And they turn it in and wait for the review. After the review, and the city is email me, it's not sufficient. So I just contacted the city again. I did email to Mr. Butler and say we're working on it right now. So the engineer will do another letter to another review again. So I talk to the city every week. So make sure the engineer working on as soon as possible. So I keep contact them back and forth all the time. And all I do is just pay for the engineer and just waiting for another review again. Is I don't know what else to do.
That you're doing the right things. You're following up.
Yes.
Keep following up on it. What is the board?
I'll make a motion to take city's recommendation on case CEB 01-25-11 at 133 Eagle Harbor Way to come into compliance. And finding it in non-compliance right now as of the last inspection date, and to come into compliance by 6/4, or B, consideration of a fine up to $1,000 per day.
Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second over here, okay. Motion has been made, properly seconded. So now we vote on it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. Okay, very good. You're doing the right things. Okay, next case. Case number 22, CEB 0425-90, Merlin Velasquez at 1136 Lakewood Park Drive.
As pertains to 1136 Lakewood Drive, the respondent was first notified on February 6, 2025. Since last month's court proceedings, I've had contact with the owner, who's continuing to work in the backyard, cleaning out the rest of the outdoor storage, and also to address the dilapidated fencing. Staff requests to amend to the next cutoff.
Okay, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept city's recommendation to amend to 6/4 on case CEB 0425-90, 1136 Lakewood Park Drive, until 6/4 to come into compliance will be returned to the board at a subsequent meeting for consideration of fine up to $1,000 per day or until compliance is achieved.
Alrighty. Second? Is there a second somewhere?
Second.
Okay, there's a second. Mr. Harrington. And motion made, properly seconded.
Aye.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? None, okay. Motion carries. Case number 23, CEB 02-25-42, Jessica Esther O'Reilly and Emerson Gabrielle Aurelia. Aureliana. Huh?
That one was withdrawn.
24 was. This one.
I'm on 23.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I just read case 23.
24 was withdrawn.
Okay.
Okay. But we're on case 23.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Carrie just got happy with her pen.
Okay.
As it pertains to 1005 Essex Road, respondent was first notified on November the 18th, 2024. Since last month's court proceedings, I've had contact with the property owner, who was awaiting on permits to be issued. Staff requests amend to the next cutoff.
Okay. What say ye, board?
I make a motion to accept city's recommendation on CEB 02-25-42 at 1005 Essex Road to come into compliance by 6/4 or be returned to the board at subsequent meeting for consideration of fine up to $1,000 per day until compliance is achieved.
Okay.
Second.
Motion made, seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Next case. Withdrawn, number 24. Case number 25. Is that the one we did earlier?
This is compliance, non-compliance.
Yeah, compliance,
You can do your little
okay.
speech.
Compliance, okay. And then we did case 26.
Well, we're doing 25.
Well, we're doing 25, but you do your little speech on compliance and non-compliance.
Because these are new cases.
New cases.
Right, okay. So case 25, CEB 0525-107, Joseph Ponce at 241 South Franklin. She'll swear you in.
Will you state your name and address for the record?
Joseph Pouncey,
Okay. Your address?
241 South Franklin Street.
Will you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Pouncey, this is not to give you a fine, okay? It's to find you in compliance or not in compliance, okay? All right, we'll hear from the inspector.
This is a complaint-generated case regarding exterior conditions, properties in violation of a semi parked in the yard, vehicles and RV parked in the yard, inadequate address numbers, and outside storage. First notification was 5/22/24. Compliance due 6/22/24. I conducted a site visit on May 7th of 2025. Property still in non-compliance. Staff's recommending a finding of non-compliance with compliance due next cutoff.
Okay, your turn. What are you?
I got these people's, the 14th, living to my house because I've been living with my wife. And my son been living there, so I didn't know what was going on. So I've been getting the property cleaned off and getting the semi-truck parked, getting it away from the house, too, because I was under the impression that it was in front of the house, but we moved it to the back, but it can't be in the premises period, I think.
Right.
Maybe the problem. And the trailer, the travel trailers, I can put it in the back. I have a fenced yard. I thought perhaps I could put it in there. If I don't, I have to move it, period. So that I don't know.
Well, what you need to do is stay in contact with the inspector. She can tell you what you can do, what you can't do, and she'll work with you on it.
Yeah, she worked with my son. See, I was in the hospital.
Okay, well.
I'm a little bit old now. I'm a little bit over 80 years of age.
Really?
Wow, you look great.
Yeah.
And I just don't have it no more, but I will get it right.
Yeah, well, because I'm a father too, is get the son, to do what needs to be
They
done.
don't do it right.
Oh, okay. All right. But anyway, you need to get it done. What is the board's pleasure?
I'll make a motion to find the property at 241 Franklin Street, case number CEB 05-25-107, in non-compliance that come into compliance by the next inspection. Is that the one I want to do? The next inspection date on 6/4?
Okay. Okay. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. We have a motion. Did you hear who?
I think the motion should also state that if you don't come into compliance by 6/4, then it can be set
it will come to be at a hearing for
Fine.
for a potential fine.
Subject to
Okay.
fine.
Just so you're aware of that. This, right now, there's no fine. so-
It'll be done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you want me to restate it?
Yes,
Okay.
if you could.
All right, for, case number 25, CEB 05-25-107, 241 and 245 South Franklin Street, to come into compliance by 6/4, or be returned to the board at a subsequent meeting for consideration of fine up to $1,000 per day until compliance is achieved.
Okay. Do we have a second? Who's second?
One of these two. I don't know who got credit.
Give her credit. She gets 10 cents extra.
Okay.
Second.
All right, so it's been properly seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries. So you understand what happened?
Yes.
Okay. So stay in touch with her.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, let's see. That was policy 26.
We did that.
We did that one. 27.
Alex.
CEB 0525-96 Alexander Contreras at 518 Cannon Street. Not present? Okay. Alrighty. Yes, sir.
Inspector Garcia, credentials on file. This case was complaint generated for violations of overgrown landscaping, damaged fence, damaged window, garbage, rubbish, trash and debris, dirt and grime, no identification numbers, holes and damages to the exterior surface, damaged screens, exterior doors, unfinished interior surfaces, missing interior doors, plumbing fixtures, missing and exposed wires, and no stove and working exceeding the scope of the permits. It was a case where inspector downstairs from building had went over there and posted it for stop work order. Certified letter was signed on January 13, 2025. Compliance due date was February 13, 2025, and my last reinspection was on yesterday, May 7th, 2025. And still in non-compliance, staff's recommending a fine of non-compliance, compliance by next cutoff.
Have you spoke to him?
I spoke to him once, and that was like a couple months ago. There's no permits issued. There was a plumbing permit was applied on March 10, 2025, but it's on hold. There's an electrical permit applied for on December 21st, 2024, but it's waiting resubmittal.
Okay, what say you?
I'll make a motion in case 27 CEB 05-25-96 at 518 Cannon Street to come into compliance, fine in non-compliance, come into compliance by 6/4, or be returned to the board at a subsequent meeting for consideration of a fine up to $1,000 per day when compliance, or until compliance is achieved.
Second.
Okay, motion has been made, properly seconded, and we're going to the vote.
Oh, one more thing. I don't know if we can note that the property needs to be secured to city standards, because it's not. It's open, and people are getting inside of it, in and out. The front door is. It did have a board on it, and now the board is protruded out, and it's open.
Oh.
Can you call him one more time and see if he's there? If he answers, if not, maybe the police can go and.
Yeah.
So it's a safety issue.
Yeah, and maybe even get on the trespass arrest site program.
I know in the past, when we got safety issues, we did something a little different.
Yeah, it was like had to be done in 5 days.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Or else a fine would start to run at that.
Right, right.
So I'd like to amend my
Sure.
motion to have the building be secured at 518 Cannon Street within the next 5 days. To be come into compliance at the owner's cost if the city has to step in and secure it.
Then we
Second.
start the fine after the 5 days,
Yes,
it doesn't mean.
the fine will be start after.
Right.
You have to state what the fine amount is.
Okay, the fine will be is $100 good, Danny? $100 a day.
Second the amended motion.
Okay, motion has been amended, properly stated and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries.
What was the amount? $100 a day?
$100 a day.
Up to?
Up to
10,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be 15, wouldn't it?
Nobody's living there. 15,000.
But it's the start after the 5th day.
Yes.
Okay, next case. 28 was, came into compliance. Case 29, CEB 0525-104, Charles McDowell at 504 Fairmont Road. Is there anybody present? Nobody's present. Yes, sir.
This is a complaint-driven case, violations of outside storage, parking on the grass, trailer in the driveway, unregistered vehicles, unpainted fascia, no address numbers, unmaintained landscaping.
Wow.
The certified letter was posted on February 17, 2025 for a compliance due date on February 27, 2025, and my last reinspection was on May 7th, 2025. The property is still in non-compliance. Staff recommending a fine of non-compliance, compliance by next cutoff.
Are there any safety issues?
No,
Okay.
I met the owner recently for the first time. He was sitting in the driveway, and he said he was in and out of the hospital area. He was right there. That was the day that I posted it, and he said he was doing the best he could. There's both vehicles that are there. There were 3. There's been a little progress.
With that picture, all that stuff there.
Yeah, all that stuff is gone, but there is some stuff still there. There was 3 vehicles. Now there's 2. The vehicles have flats. That one has a flat, and the white one on the right of way has a flat, and it's unregistered. So he says he's working on it. Hopefully he'll have it by the next cutoff.
Okay. What say ye, board?
Make a motion in case 29, CEB 05-25-104 at 504 Fairmont until 6/4 to come into compliance, or be in non-compliance, have till 6/4 to come into compliance, or return to the board at subsequent meeting for consideration of a fine up to $1,000 per day, or until compliance is achieved.
Second.
Motion has been made, properly seconded. What does the board vote? All
Yay.
those in favor say yay.
Yeah.
Oppose? Motion carries. Next case, number 30.
Did Mr. Harrington say yay too?
Yay.
Yeah.
He seconded.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He said yes.
So it's fine.
You didn't say yay, you said yay.
Yeah.
Okay, case number 30, CEB 0525-97, Amanda Singh at 834 Kingston Avenue.
Will you state your name and address?
Challenger Arjun, 834 Kingston Avenue, Daytona Beach, 32114.
Can you repeat and spell your name for me, please?
SHILENDRA ARJUN.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
SHILENDRA
Last name?
ARJUN.
Will you raise your right hand?
Yeah.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll hear from the inspector first.
How are you related to
I'm the
Amanda?
husband. We live there.
Girlfriend?
No, husband.
Okay, husband. Thank you.
Have you obtained permission from her to speak on her behalf?
Yeah, we both homesteaded the house. I brought an application to just in case you wanted to see that, the homestead application back in 2019.
Okay, any other questions for him? Inspector.
This case was complaint driven and actually generated from building inspector and permits and licensing. They were on the property, did an inspection, and transferred all this information onto me. The violations were outside storage trailers parked on the illegally on the property, no permit for the fence, which was one of the main things. Rocks and sand piles on the grass. A certified letter was posted on the property on March 7, 2025. Compliance due date March 17, 2025. And my last reinspection was on May 7, 2025. Property still in non-compliance. Staff's recommending a finding of non-compliance, compliance by next cutoff. And there is a permit, I believe, applied for the fence. So we're waiting on that also.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we met in person before the violation.
Hold up, she's got a question.
Apologies, I have a question. You
Sure.
said that you're homesteaded on the property as well, that application?
Yeah, this
When did-
was
when did you
the one that we sent in 2019.
Because you're not on the property appraiser's report.
No, but I'm homesteaded there. We both live there. We're married.
Okay, that's okay. I just wanted to let you know that you're not on the property appraiser report as on it, but.
Okay, you may continue.
Yes, the same day we did inspection, the contract called for inspection for the windows and doors. We met and he notified me about the breaks and stuff. But we had an issue with the fence where back in July, we replaced part of it. We did call in and ask if we need a permit. We were told no, since it's a partial. And we explained that it's going to still be chain link. We're not changing it where it is. We're not changing the material, and we're just replacing the part that was damaged a couple of months previously. So Mr. Garcia says he's going to look it up and think. So before violation was issued, the rocks, I think it's just the sand pile was knocked down to at least a level where my daughter could play in it, and not as high as it. Well,
It's in the photo. You can.
That was the
this one.
original one back in January that was taken, and that trailer was removed. The bricks, it was just a couple of bricks that was removed even before the violation was issued. That was removed probably February because we met ending of January.
So
when
you're
he was
working
in.
on it. You're working on it.
No, what we were saying, all other minor stuff has been taken care of. I did bring back the trailer from an airport trip, which I emailed him and told him that I had an airport trip and I'm going to bring the trailer back for a week. That small trailer. I took pictures a couple of days ago, a couple of weeks ago, showing that all the other trailers just behind the property line as required by code. So back to the fence. So after that was replaced back in July, then we had the hurricane come towards the right side, and the tree pretty much damaged the whole right side. We called back again, telling we need to do another partial replacement. They said if it's a partial, I think it was less than a couple of panels, that is okay. But then the violation issued the gate. When I call in, it says because we changed the gate, it does not matter. We need a permit. I asked them, can I put back the chain link one as it was? They deny that. I think it's very unreasonable. So now they want us to rip down the entire fence because the height. I've had pictures from Google Street View spanning 20 years showing the height has been the same height, and it's probably go beyond that, but that's as far back as Google Street View will give me.
Right, now those are issues that we can't deal with. We can only deal with certain codes that we have to deal with, which is what the inspector violates you on. And so it sounds like you really want to get it right. So
yes, we did order boundary surveys and stuff, but they said a month. First, it told me 3 weeks, which I relayed to him that compass surveying things. But they came out about 3 weeks ago, and they said they're still working on the file. But the issue is what was having us having to rip down the entire fence when it was given. But then you're saying that's not the scope of this hearing. So right now, I'm really trying to point to the unreasonableness of that part,
Right.
having to us
Right.
commanding us to redown the fence, even though we called twice. You know, I have
Right.
phone records of the calls. I don't have recorded calls.
Okay, I hear you, but our job is to find you in compliance or out of compliance. So in this case, the city inspector is saying that you're not in compliance. And that's, who we have to follow. He gets current pictures, he provides us proof. All the other little details that you're talking about, you need to keep following up on those to get into compliance. And you need to work with him, keep him notified of what's going on.
He has on that. He's been
Yeah.
emailing me and
Right.
we talk on the
Okay,
phone.
good,
and I met
good.
him out.
That's a good thing.
There's just things that, like he said, the trailer left and it
Right.
came back, and then he said I moved this, and
Right.
I explained to him that I'd like to do one re-inspection to take care of
Right.
everything instead
Right.
of going back and just seeing one thing and one thing and one thing.
Right. Yeah, you can't keep coming back every time.
Yeah, once you
move
take the trailer away, you need to keep it away.
Yeah,
Right.
there's some, other little minor stuff out, buckets and
Right.
other things. But
Yeah.
I told him once he's done with getting the permit,
Right.
getting it finalized and all that, then I can do a reinspection, verify everything
Right.
is done, and close it out.
Yeah. So there is a process. Just follow the process. Even sometimes we don't agree with it, but it's the process. Right? Okay, so do we have a motion here?
I make a motion to find the case CEB 05-25-97 at 834 Kingston Avenue in non-compliance, and to come into compliance by 6/4, or be returned to the board for subsequent meeting and consideration or fine up to $1,000 per day until compliance is achieved.
Before we vote on that, since the boundary survey is taking some time, can we do 60 days on that? Because they still haven't decided, they're still working on it.
I
have
would,
emails
I would
of
agree
that.
with that.
I have emails of that
The
also.
7-2. I'll amend my motion to 7-2.
Okay. Got it? All right, so motion has been made to extend 60 days to our meeting of July to come into compliance. Otherwise, a fine of $1,000 a day would start. Was there a second on that? Motion made, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries.
All right. Thank you very
Okay?
much. That's it.
All right. Thank you for coming. Okay, next case, number 31. CEB 0525-105, Gary Afford at 141 Pierce Avenue. Okay, both of you gonna speak? Okay, she needs to swear you in.
You can just state your name, both names, and your address for the record.
Gary Robert Alford at 141 Pierce Avenue, Daytona Beach, Florida.
And you are, ma'am?
Nicole Consolazio with the Rivers.
Can you spell your last name for me, please?
CONSOLAZIO.
And you're the office manager?
I'm his worker.
Oh, okay. All right. Can you both raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Can you give her permission to speak on your behalf here?
He asked you. Do you
Okay.
give me permission to speak?
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. I'm not your honor.
Well,
I think
So thank you, I appreciate that.
you certainly deserve it.
I'm just,
Okay, we'll hear from the inspector first.
Okay. My name is Inspector Ron Beanie. My code compliance credentials are on file. This case was opened up on December 17th, 2024 as a field-generated case for peeling paint, decayed porch, and missing downspouts, dirt, and grime on the house. First notice was received on March 11th, 2025. Compliance was due on April 11th, 2025. Last date of reinspection was May 5th, 2025, and the result was non-compliance. Contact has been made with the caseworker for endovers Staff is recommending a finding of non-compliance with compliance due by next cutoff. In addition, for evidence purposes, I have some paperwork that makes her company legitimate from the internet that he is working with.
And what is her company?
This covers her scope of business to prove the assistance that she's providing
So it's a legal document?
from just off the internet that I printed from their website. She might have something as well.
Do we need to look at it?
You can have it entered into the record.
Okay, let's do that.
It may be.
Does Mr. Alford live there?
Yes.
You do live there?
Yes, he lives there. So,
Okay.
I work with Endeavors. I'm a disaster case manager.
Okay.
This client has been working diligently to improve on his property. As Ron knows, he's came a long way. He is a hurricane victim, and he lives on a very small amount of SSI a month. He's been working with Volusia County. It's called Transform 386. I don't know if anybody's aware of that. I do have proof of his eligibility to be a part of that program. We are
I'm sorry, what is that program?
Transform 386 is a government-funded system that is helping hurricane victims rebuild their home or fix their home.
All right, thank you.
So I do have proof of his eligibility letter from them today, and we are awaiting his award letter with them. This does take time, and I'm unable to give you a timeline for the process to be completed due to it varying on a client-to-client basis. I have been in direct contact with Ron this entire time, keeping him updated on the client's case. His home will be demolished after the award letter, and he will be placed a new home in that property. I did suggest that the client does not put his little bit of monthly income into a home that's going to be demolished when it's going to be completely reconstructed soon.
Is it safe for him to live there currently? And since you don't want him to put anything into it, is he safe in his home?
Yes, ma'am. My bedroom is completely enclosured. I got a door to where I'm not going to be affected by animals or critters or anything. I don't have much of a serious leak in my bedroom, so I'm not in serious mold contamination. But my living room portion of my house and everywhere has been seriously wood rot damage from the two hurricanes, Matthew and Ian.
Okay.
Gary lives there on his own comfortability. The home, if somebody went into it, would not
Well,
demand it livable.
Is
But
there-
he is being very diligent in getting.
Yes.
I mean, he's filed everything. The county is working on him. It just so happens that it takes a very long time.
I tried to comply to get my fence fixed, but the city of Daytona would not comply with giving me a survey to come out to survey my fence and stuff. But I have got a case number for the fence and everything, and I was trying to comply, but then I had other matters that came in.
Right.
And all of it's going to be taken down. And I
Yes.
would
Okay.
hate with his income.
Well,
for
I
him to
got
pour
to
money.
ask a question because you've risen a concern in me. Is there any safety issue here?
From my vantage point, the front porch is a safety issue, but I think there's another way he can get into the house.
Yes.
So what's your recommendation?
I recommend we give 3 months out to give them some time to see if
Yes,
they can
please.
get closer to achieving their goal.
And just for my knowledge, if we get the 3 months out and then we revisit this, that doesn't mean he'll get fined, right? In case we need a longer
No.
amount of time?
No.
Okay.
Thank you.
Make the motion.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll
we
make
just
a-
will evaluate
Yeah.
at that time.
Okay.
As long as, I just want you to, if you feel unsafe or something happens and you're unsafe, to get out.
Yeah.
I'll be fine. If there's another hurricane that comes around, I'm definitely going to vacate the premises and go to a shelter.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, I'll make a motion to, in case number CEB 05-25-105 at 141 Pierce Avenue, to take the city's recommendation that is in non-compliance and amend to the 8/6 meeting date to come into compliance or be returned to the board at a subsequent meeting for consideration of a fine up to $1,000 per day until compliance is achieved. So as long as you have that guarantee that they're going to help him, then there will be no fine.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll just keep
Did you
bumping
want
it
a
out 30
copy of
days.
this for his record to show compliant, like that he's actively part of Transform and
Yeah, let's make
This is
that,
a
let's make it
county
part of the
recovery
record.
program.
Yeah, we can make it part of the record.
I saw the last house in DeLand they just did for a couple on the news.
Yeah.
It was very nice.
Yes.
So we'll stay in touch with the inspector,
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
you know.
Yes, sir.
Anything
Yeah,
happens with the
my
house,
caseworker is
let him know.
constantly in with them, yes.
Right, okay, great. So is there a second?
Second.
Motion has been made, properly seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay.
All right.
Yeah, 3 months.
And that date was
8/6 is the cutoff date, but the meeting is 8/14.
8/14. Thank you so much.
Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
Good luck.
You as well.
Okay, next case, number 32, CEB 05-25-94, Eileen M. Fichtner, TR, and Albin R. Fichtner, Living Trust, dated February 4th, 2004. Anybody present? Nobody's present. Okay.
Properly notified.
They what? They have
Respondent has
been?
been properly notified.
Okay, great. Yes, sir.
This case was opened up on February 12th, 2024, as a complaint-generated case for outside storage, boat parked in the front yard, damaged vinyl fence, refrigerator being stored in front yard. First notice was received February 13th, 2024. Compliance was due on March 13th, 2025. Last date of inspection was on May 5th, 2025, and the result was noncompliance. Contact has been made with the owner. Staff recommends a finding of noncompliance with compliance due by next cutoff.
They first notified was 2024 or 2025. Our paper says 25.
2025.
Okay.
My mistake.
That's it?
Okay, let's hear a motion.
I make a motion in case CEB 05-25-94 at 114 North, is it Gardner Court?
Yeah, Gardenier.
Gardner
Gardenier.
could be in non-compliance and until 6/4 to come into compliance or be returned to the board at a subsequent meeting for consideration of fine up to $1,000 per day or until compliance is achieved.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion properly made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Next case, number 33, CEB 052595, LJB Empire Property LLC at 336 Hobart Avenue. No one present, okay. Yes, sir.
This case was opened on December 2nd, 2024, as a complaint-generated case for no permitted fence. First notice was received December 3rd, 2024. Compliance was due on January 15th, 2025. Last date of reinspection was on May 5th, 2025, and the result was noncompliance. Contact has not been made with the owner. Staff recommends a finding of noncompliance with compliance due by next cutoff.
I'm sorry, did you have contact with them?
I have not,
No,
but
no
I've kept an
contact.
eye on the permitting process,
Okay.
and there's a review coming up in a few, actually today.
Okay. I'll make a motion in case CEB 05-25-95 at 336 Hobart Avenue to be in non-compliance and to come into compliance by 6/4 or be returned to the board at a subsequent meeting for consideration of a fine up to $1,000 per day or until compliance is achieved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, motion made, properly seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And let's see, 34 was in compliance, 35 was in compliance, 36 in compliance. Case number 37, CEB 0525-102, Charles Slappy at 322 Fulton Street. Are they present? Not present.
Charlie?
Respondent has been properly notified.
Okay, thank you. Yes, ma'am.
This case was opened on January 15th, 2025. A complaint generated case for outside storage, damaged exterior, dirt and grime, broken glass, no permit for the shed or roof and fence, trash and debris, junk vehicles, damaged steps, damaged handrails, damaged glazing, no screens, damaged exterior doors, damaged interior surfaces, damaged flooring, damaged interior doors, pest infestation, disabled plumbing, damaged water heater, damaged light fixtures, extension cords, blocked egress, bars on the windows, and no smoke detectors. First notice was received on January 21st, 2025. Compliance was due February 21st, 2025. Last inspection was April 7th, 2025, and the result was non-compliance. There has been no contact with the owner. Staff recommends a finding of non-compliance with a compliance due by next cutoff.
I do have a question about this case. I think this one has been in front many years, like last year or the year before, but I don't know how this house keeps coming up.
I don't know how it hasn't come up for a lien, or has not been fined.
Yeah, because the first thing that got me was the name. I remember the name of Sloppy. For his, but, is he living there?
Yes.
Okay. I think this is a safety issue in that home.
That's what I was going to ask her, yeah.
So I don't know.
Well, we did have the building inspector come out the day that we did this in January, and he was not able to condemn.
But the question is that with all this electrical and things falling apart, is there a safety concern if somebody's living there?
Well, the building inspector did not deem that when he was out there.
Okay, how about you? What's your observation?
I would say yes, but I'm not a building inspector.
All right, I'll make the motion.
In the last case that came before you, it was for outside. This case is inside and outside, so it was different.
Yeah, but
How do they have bars over the windows? I thought that was
that's one of the violations.
Yeah, that
One of
is,
the
and she
violations.
noted that on her violation because that's an egress issue.
it used to be to keep the criminals out years ago. Okay, I make a motion on case CEB 05-25-102, 322 Fulton, to find a non-compliance and come into compliance by the next date, 6/4 cutoff date, or be returned to the board at a subsequent meeting for consideration of fine up to $1,000 per day until compliance is achieved.
Second.
Okay, motion has been made, properly seconded. All those in favor? Aye.
I'd also like to make a little note that if something happens to this gentleman in this house, that it doesn't fall back on us, as that it goes against the building inspector, because it doesn't look very safe to me.
Mr. Harrington,
Well-
did you state in the affirmative as well? Did you vote on that one?
I don't recall the vote.
I don't know if we did or not. I just,
Yeah, I asked the question. All those in favor?
Did anybody?
anybody second?
Yeah,
I'm
she
in
said.
favor of it,
Yes, I.
but not what she's talking about.
But are you voting in affirmative of the motion? I didn't see you say anything when the
Yea or nay?
chair called the question.
Yeah, I was voting the original thing, not whatever's
Yes.
going on here.
Correct.
But the question you're bringing up, do we need to amend it
No, I just wanna, I just.
I don't think you can do that.
No, I just wanna say, I just think it's the building inspector should go back and look.
You can make a recommendation to the building inspector.
Okay, so what a motion has been made, properly seconded. I think we did vote on it.
Yes, I just asked I saw everybody vote in the affirmative except for Mr. Harrington.
Okay.
I didn't, that's why I asked the question. You voted in affirmative on the motion.
Okay.
So the motion passes, and I think that's it, unless anybody else has.
I have something. So apologies for not saying something sooner. I just wanted to confirm, and I had to do a little research. But case 27, that motion has to be amended. So there's a case, cases in Charlotte City, that says we can impose a fine on new cases that are. This is the first time case 27 has been heard here. So that 5-day fine would have to be done at the next hearing, and the way that fine would work would be the way you did it, but the fine would have to be imposed at the next hearing retroactively. So if they weren't, like, an inspector would go out in 5 days to see if it was in compliance. If it wasn't, they would document that and bring it at the next hearing.
It's been done before. I don't
Well,
get it.
there's a case that says we can't do a fine at the first hearing.
So
Yes, if I could clarify, what will happen is if they are not in compliance in the 5 days that you gave them,
Right.
when we come back at the next hearing, you will then be able to automatically fine them, and the fine will start from the 5 days.
Yes.
Okay.
But we don't automatically fine them
Right.
on the first notice.
Right. Okay, great. Thank you for the clarification.
I can give you the case site if you need it.
So,
Okay,
so
so,
does the order stay like it was previously?
yes.
Yes, you just have to remove the fine of the 5 days.
Oh, okay.
They just have to be in compliance in the 5th day,
Right.
or they can come up before the board for a fine.
And the fine will be retroactive. Right, okay. Good. So your case is over.
Okay.
All right, anything else, folks? All right, so can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
Second? Oh, okay, boom.